The heart muscle, to cardio or not to cardio? Find out the answer on today's Q&A. Selwyn here from WynnStrength.com, where the goal of the channel is to help you get a little bit stronger every single day. In the Wynn Strength Q&A series, I attempt to answer your questions in under 5 minutes, so if you have a question, make sure to drop it in the comments below. So this is a great question from my friend Eric, where he asks, should you include cardio if you're trying to build muscle and strength? I think it's a great question, and let's start the timer. So this is a great question because it highlights something that I've been so wrong about in the past, and that's ignoring cardio altogether. Research says otherwise, but I think this is a great thing about learning more is that you can always correct your mistakes and you can always move forward and be better than you were yesterday. So now I am a fan of cardio. I'm not telling you to go out and run a marathon, but I do think an extra hour over the course of a week might help you with your gains for strength and hypertrophy. So what helped shift this is they actually did a study where they had two groups. One group didn't do cardio, one group did cardio in this specific way, where they made the participants cycle till they couldn't cycle anymore, and then both groups performed leg extensions. What they found was over the course of a couple of weeks, I think 8 weeks, whatever it was, both groups had similar hypertrophic outcomes, so they both put on muscle size. The strength gains weren't as much for the group that did the cycling to failure beforehand, but that seems pretty intuitive since they cycled to failure before they were asked to perform maximal strength loads. But what this highlights to me is that even with an unideal setup for how to incorporate cardio and lifting, hypertrophic outcomes are still there. You were still able to get bigger whilst performing cardio, and we all know that cardio does help with those heart outcomes. Now, cardio doesn't necessarily mean cycling. It can be a bunch of things. You can have barbell complexes, intensity training, interval training, even just long steady state cardio. Cardio ranges a gamut of things, and I'm not telling you to go run a marathon. But a lot of other research points to the fact that having a good base of cardio can help you with your strength and hypertrophy outcomes. And that's because of one big thing is work capacity, and this is what's hindered my training in the past. Basically, work capacity, or GPP, general physical preparedness, is your ability to work for extended amounts of time. And we all know that even something like powerlifting, where our pursuit is a 1 rep max strength, the most opposite to a marathon as you can get, being able to train for 2 hours still requires you to have some form of ability to recover from training. And what's interesting is even with strength training, you're not solely relying on your anaerobic system. You still do rely on your aerobic system and its ability to recover in between sets, its ability to recover over the course of that 2-3 hours, even if it's 1 hour, you still need to be able to recover from that workout. If we took an extreme example and you didn't have any aerobic capacity, you can only perform 1 rep, you're not going to be very successful in training. So what's helped me recently has been a focus to shifting slightly towards more cardio that I enjoy, which is basically me doing like giant sets, where it's like 4 exercises in a row and then 1 minute rest in between. I learned that from Brian Olzer, provides some great information there. But I think when you look at it from that lens, including cardio, not your typical cardio, but including cardio is definitely going to help you get stronger in the long run, because it'll help you train harder for longer because you can recover from that stress. And the next thing to look at is just opportunity cost. We need to find that right balance between strength and cardio. What are your priorities? Obviously, if your priority is to squat a lot, that's going to take up the majority of your time than running or cycling or doing some form of cardio. If running a marathon is your goal and objective, that's going to take up a lot more time than weightlifting. So it depends on the personal goal that you have. So based on that, if your goal is strength training, which I'm assuming it is because we're tuning in here, I'm not telling you to go run a marathon. I'm saying maybe incorporate an hour of cardio over the course of a week. Maybe you look at doing some barbell complexes, some giant sets, so that you can get stronger and get cardio in the same time. Even just reducing rest between sets when you're doing work sets or volume sets and back off sets. That way it's you're trying to tax the body's ability to recover from a cardiovascular perspective. That way the next month of training is going to be easier because you've stressed it really hard. And as long as your cardio sessions aren't interfering with your weight sessions, I think that's a great balance we've struck there. So the key takeaways are that you should include some cardio in your training. We're not trying to run a marathon. We simply want to do the minimum work necessary in order to benefit our strength training. So think of it as complementary to the main meal. I don't want to eat a cup of ketchup. I want maybe a squirt of ketchup on the burger so that the burger tastes better. And then finally, program it intelligently. Don't perform HIIT or run to failure right before. I just can't get this timer down, can I? And even with the recommendation to use HIIT sparingly, because it's the more high intensity stuff you do, the harder it is going to be for your body to recover from the primary focus of your training, which is getting stronger and bigger. So that's where low intensity, steady state, long-term cardio can come in, because that doesn't take a lot of resources to recover from. Going for a 15-minute easy walk is totally different to 10 minutes worth of sprints. Even though the 15-minute walk was a lot longer in time, it's a lot easier to recover from. So again, the answer is never black and white. There's a lot of context and nuance within this, so find the right balance between strength training and cardio to hit your goals and make sure that things aren't interfering with each other. So if you found this video useful, please hit that like button below. Be sure to subscribe so you don't miss out on future questions and answers. If you do have a question, remember to leave it in the comment below and I can get to it in a future video. This has been Selin from Wynn, and remember to never stop learning and never stop lifting.